Hi, my name's Danielle Neely, your host of the Industry Edge podcast. This episode is brought to you by KNC Marketing. KNC is a full-service marketing agency that helps B2B companies grow their brand and increase sales. To learn more about KNC's brand development, marketing, and website design services, visit kncmarketingagency.com. Some past guests include Executive Director of TAUD, Nick Newman, Sean Jones, President of Toyota Material Handling Mid-South, and Tom Camacho, Chairman of C12 Middle Tennessee. And now I'm going to introduce today's guest. So today's guest is Mark Young, the Chief Operations Officer of Bar Environmental, an equipment and full service solutions partner serving the water and wastewater industry since 1984 across the Southeast. With a proven track record of scaling companies from local to national brands, Mark brings a deep industry expertise and strategic leadership to the table. Mark, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Good morning.
Morning. So happy to have you here. So the first one is really, really easy just to get the guess. I know a lot about you already. We do business together already, so I'm super excited to learn a little bit more from a different angle. But first
Yeah.
one's easy. Just tell everybody about you and your background and your current role at Bar.
Yeah. Let's see. Background. I spent most of my career in the hospitality industry in restaurant marketing, brand marketing, and everything else. Spent I guess 20 plus 25 years in that industry, and then left there and went into higher ed. So I spent 5 years in higher ed, and then I spent 5 years working with a branding agency here in Nashville, and joined Bar about 3 years ago. It's been a great ride so far. I knew Rick Pearson, our co-founder, and Bobby Clemmer, our owner, for probably 20 plus years, and started talking about some things, and I was ready to make a change and wanted to do something different and wanted to have a bigger impact on growing another business, and had an opportunity to come on board. And so been here about 3 years, and lots happened since then.
Yes, you guys have grown a ton since even we first started working together. We've worked with y'all for 7 years,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh my gosh, the amount of growth that you guys have seen is amazing. So you went from marketing, branding, restaurant industry, and then water and wastewater. That's a very big pivot, right?
Yeah,
So you said,
360.
yeah, complete 360. What about Bar and the team made you make that jump? You said, you wanted to help be a part of growth and help that, but like, if you had to pinpoint it, a couple things that made you really make that jump?
First of all, it's the team, to be honest. Like I said, I've known Bobby and Rick for 20 plus years.
Hmm.
And I was at a point where I really was doing self-reflection on what do I really want to do next in my career. My kids are all grown, they're all through college, and really just started doing some self-assessment out of that. At the same time that Bobby and I started talking, and Bobby and I were talking about his vision for the company, where he was wanting to take the company. I was evaluating myself on trying to figure out what I wanted to do next. And one of the things I really enjoyed when I look back over my career was being part of growth, being part of a company that started out as a small, maybe local company, grew into a regional, then a national brand.
Hmm.
And so I was part of Ruby Tuesday Restaurants, and we went from 225 restaurants to 950 restaurants. Uh, I left the restaurant industry, went out to Arizona State and helped them create a centralized marketing organization for the university. And so I really enjoyed those types of things and seeing stuff grow and happen. And then as Bobby and I started talking about things and I understood his vision and where he wanted to go, I thought I could help on some of that. Um, and then I got to meet the team. And as I got to meet the team, I just felt more intrigued by the industry, more intrigued by what he was trying to do and what he wanted to accomplish out of that. And timing was just right for both of us, I think. And so I came on board, and it's been good. I didn't know a whole lot about the industry. Still don't know a whole lot about the industry.
Figuring it out as you
Um,
go.
we are figuring out as we go, but we've got a team of people that are very knowledgeable technically, as well as what we're trying to do and what our vision and what our culture is, and that's really the reason why I made the change.
Yep.
It's been a good move for me personally, professionally, and I think it's been a good move for us.
Yep. That's awesome. I and they are very fortunate to have you as well because I feel like in the world, water, wastewater marketing, the idea of marketing a company like that is tricky. So being able to have your branding and marketing brain And then also, to be able to support that vision and have that kind of mindset is something that, I know that Bar really appreciates. So that is awesome. That
Well, as a marketing guy,
Mhm.
in my background, the most successful marketing you can have is if you don't have good operations or those types of things or customer service.
Mhm.
It's going to be hard to keep. You can market everything you want, but if you don't deliver on the end product,
Right.
it's short lived. And so, one of the beauties for us is we still believe in building relationships. That's the core of everything we do is about building relationships.
Mhm.
And then we've got great resources, great partners, great service that we offer on some of those things as well. And so, my job is to continue to just help us figure out ways that we can get the work flowing through the system better and then constantly just working with the guys to just figure out how do we get better.
Right.
And at the end of the day, if we can do those things, it takes care of itself.
Totally. And that's a really good point too of, us, we hear a lot of like, we want more leads, we want to grow, we want more business. But if you're not answering the call and
Yeah.
you're not taking care of the people that number one, that you already have, right?
Yeah.
And then the people that come your way, once you do start marketing and putting salespeople out into the field, if you're not taking care of them, like what you're saying from a service aspect, you're going to lose them. And then it's just going to trickle. Your sales team gets overloaded, everybody gets overloaded, and you don't really service them right. So that's a really good point.
Yeah.
So Bar's been around for a really long time. Can you tell us a little bit
Mhm.
more about Bar? And then
Yeah.
also if you like what advice would you give newer companies that are entering this? What advice would you give them?
Yeah. I would say, you know, for as far as bar goes, we've been around for 40 years. We started as a manufacturing equipment rep firm, and really did great at that for a long period of time, where we would represent, we would become the sales force here in Tennessee for equipment in the water and wastewater business, and so that that was fruitful for us and did some things for us and helped us in a way. And then what I would say over the last, Bobby joined the company 10 plus years ago, 15 years ago. And then over time, the service became a little more, right? We had somebody that was helping us do service. And then we got into service about 5 years ago. And what we realized at that point is if we could become a solution partner for our customers in the industry, all of a sudden it gives us more opportunity to be in front of those customers more, right?
Mhm.
And so now instead of being a manufacturing equipment rep, we still are that. We're a complete full service solution provider in the water and wastewater business.
Yep.
And so it can be from, coming to the facility and doing an inspection, just evaluation of the equipment and what's going on from that, to selling them a piece of equipment, to doing a turnkey project where we can come in and work with contractors and engineers on a new plant and a new facility that's being done. So we have the ability to kind of do through 360 with everybody on it. So
Mhm.
we got the lead, we understand the problem, we bring it in, we figure out a solution to it, we provide that solution, we then service or execute that solution, service and maintain that solution, and then it all starts the same cycle again. And so, we've got some customers that we've been doing business with for 40 years. And so we've got a track record. We've got a strong
Mhm.
reputation here in the state of Tennessee, and we're starting to get a reputation throughout the Southeast as we're starting to do more work throughout the Southeast.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think too, like what a benefit for your customer, right? Or potential
Yeah,
customers to be able to have that more one stop to be able
yeah,
to, versus having, oh, I got a guy that does this, I got a guy
yeah,
that does that. You got
yeah,
a bunch of phone numbers, you don't know where the business card is, who does this, who
yep,
does that. And then your customer is able to know that you guys are able to handle everything from,
yep.
start to finish and then after to be able to support them. So
Yeah,
that's an
that's
amazing
exactly that's
benefit.
exactly what we want is
Hmm.
is one-stop shop in a sense, right? And so our field guys, our sales guys are out in the field all the time. They
Yep.
still the old traditional thing. They still knock on a lot of doors and build strong relationships and connections throughout,
Yep.
like I said, throughout the state of Tennessee, and we're starting to do it throughout the Southeast.
Yeah, that is still my husband was a sales guy and we talk about that all the time, especially in this world of so many emails, you get so many emails bombarded. You get spam
Yep.
calls, you get like a phone call with an actual person. on
Yep.
the other end of the line goes a long way. Showing up and doing a cold call and actually showing your face
Yep.
because you just don't know what's real anymore either. Like you can't trust it. So it's easy to trust somebody who's walking in your door. You're like, oh,
Yep.
you're an actual person. I had an email from you in my inbox and now you're here. Like that makes a
Yeah.
lot more sense to me. So
Yep.
there's a ton of power in all of that still. And I
Yep.
think people don't really think that anymore. Like, oh,
Yeah.
they go more digital or whatever, which is important, but there's still a lot of power in showing up and showing your face.
Yeah,
So,
we agree with you. We spend a lot of time and a lot of, we invest a lot of money and energy in
mhm.
that because we philosophically believe it's right and it's been right. And so the model's proven itself for the last 40 years. So
Yep. Yep. Awesome. So you've had to build a team that can handle, that rapid growth. Like you guys have grown a lot, and you don't compromise service from what it sounds like. So what's been your guys' key into getting the right people on board? Because it seems like, you keep people around for the most part
yeah.
too, and that's something retention is really hard, I would say. And in service industries, it's very, very hard from what we've seen with our clients. So, what's your guys' key to getting the right people on board?
It really starts at the top. It really does. We believe in a team atmosphere. Many of our guys played sports, growing up, and some played through college. We've got some military guys that work for us as well, and so all that is about team.
Hmm.
Um, and so it's an important part. And so when I'm recruiting people, I'm not recruiting them for the technical side. I mean, we've got guys that will talk to them. If it's an engineer, we've got engineers. If it's service, we've got service guys. I spend most of my time in the interview process about how do they fit into the team? Can I put this person, in this team and build trust among the group. So we spend a lot of time on that. Culture is huge for us.
Hmm.
But we talk about it all the time. We communicate all the time. We bring our guys together all the time. We bring our out-of-state guys in for meetings multiple times throughout the year. We invest in a professional coach for the guys, and so team development, individual personal development, both personally and professionally, is important for us. Communication is key to this. We
Hmm.
talk about our vision all the time, and communicate that throughout the organization, both on the sales and business side, the sales and project management and business management team, and then the service team.
Hmm.
So we communicate the vision with the service guys. We don't leave them out and separate that. We spend time with them. We've got an advisor that spends time with them. He can help them troubleshoot. He's got years of experience, and so he's a mentor for them. So we really focus on investing in the team and in the people and the individuals. And that really, like I said, starts from the top with Bobby. And so I think that's the reason why we can hang on to people,
Hmm.
even on the service side of that. But we also vet, when we go through the recruiting process, a lot of times it's referrals that come into us, somebody that knew somebody or worked with somebody else or whatever that is. And so we utilize that avenue. And then, we bring them in, we interview them, we put them through, multiple people within the organization.
Hmm.
And then we as a team make a decision on some of that. And then we try to, spend time with them. And we don't expect them to make a difference overnight. We expect them to learn and grow. And as long as they have a passion, a care, and a willingness, then, we can get them there.
Love
But,
that.
uh, but, but it really does start from the team and the culture.
Hmm. I have a couple things there. Number one, completely agree with you on culture on the team. You can teach skills if somebody's hungry to learn and eager and they're a good team fit. That's
Yeah.
a mindset that we have too of like they don't have to have all the skills or all the experience, but that if they're a hard worker and they fit in
Yeah.
with the team and you can kind of teach a lot of the other
Yep.
stuff. So I completely agree on that. The other thing I was going to say was holy cow, you wear a lot of hats because that sounds like a very highly sophisticated HR vetting process. And I would say that you had a lot to do with that process as well. So talk to me a little bit more about that. Are you also HR now, Mark?
We are. One of the beauties I love about our company is we've got a proven track record. We've got growth on top of growth, but we still operated, because we're a privately independent, family-owned company, and we
Mhm.
operate it that way. We don't want to get I hate to say it this way, we don't want to get too bureaucratic,
Yep.
in it. And so we fight that temptation of some of those things. And so, yeah,
Hmm.
we talk about you gotta be a doer and a manager on some of these things. And so, yeah, I handle HR stuff, but we do have some resources like you guys on some
Yep.
things where we need help. But we're all involved in it.
Hmm.
And I think that's an important part for us because we're going to live day in and day with this person. So I don't want that to be handed off to somebody else that really doesn't live in this culture day in and day out. They can help us with some things. They can call some things, but really, when it comes down to making decisions about our team and our people, it really resides in our lap here.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, it's we work in a lot of different things. You got to be adaptable on this team, and you got to be willing to just get your hands dirty a little bit. And nobody's too big for whatever it is we got to get done. We just got to get it done.
Yep.
And like I said, if we've got the right attitude and people that have a care and a passion and a desire to be part of the team, then there's opportunities for them.
For sure. That is something every single guest that I have when they talk about their team, it's like nobody is too good for anything.
Yeah,
You lead by example. Like you're not going
yeah,
to ask somebody to do something that you haven't either already done a million
yeah,
times or that you wouldn't do.
yeah,
So that is something that across the board that I
yeah,
hear. And so I love that. That's amazing.
yeah.
Awesome. Well, is there anything that I haven't asked you about what bar's doing or what you're doing that I should be asking you?
I don't know. We just we like what we do. We're passionate about what we do. We believe in what we do. Not all the time do you get to do something that is a good cause for the communities that we live, work, and play in.
Hmm.
And not only is it a business opportunity for us, but it also we give back to the communities because water is essential to, and will always be essential to um, to the world. And
Hmm.
so we get to be a part of that and make a little bit of a difference. And we really take pride in keeping America's water clean, and believe in what we do and are passionate about what we do and are excited about what's ahead of us, what we've already accomplished, but also we're more excited about what's coming down the pike. And we feel good about what we have going on this year, but we're excited about the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years from now.
Yes, totally. I'm excited for you guys too. That's
Yeah.
exciting. We've talked offline about it, so I'm really excited for y'all too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, just to wrap it up, we've been talking with Mark Young, COO of Bar Environmental. Mark, can you tell us where we can learn more about you and Bar?
Uh, sure.
You're like,
Feel
wait,
free.
tell me what it is again. What
Yeah,
marketing company?
that's right. Feel free to reach out to us at uh, yeah, uh, what is it? Barenvironmental.com, right?
Y'all
Barenviro.com.
got all of them. Y'all,
Gee,
you can
we
type in
do.
anything and you're gonna find them. Let me tell
Find
you.
us.
You just type
Find
in
us.
bar Mark Young and you'll find him. That's all. That's all you need.
Yeah, yeah. So, but Danielle, listen, thank you for the time today. Thank you for letting us share our story a little bit. Thank you for what you guys do to help us bring some of this to life, and appreciate what you guys do.
Awesome. We appreciate you too.